The partition of British India in 1947 created two new nations, India and Pakistan, splitting the vast Indus River system, which had been a lifeline for the region for centuries. These rivers originate in or flow through Indian territory before entering Pakistan, creating a complex situation that required careful management. Pakistan, as the lower riparian state, found itself heavily dependent on waters controlled by India, which led to significant concerns over water security. Initial ad hoc agreements were made, but the need for a permanent, comprehensive treaty became evident quickly as temporary measures were insufficient. The early years were marked by disputes and uncertainty over water sharing, with both nations struggling to find a lasting solution. Negotiations for the Indus Water Treaty spanned nearly a decade, from 1951 to 1960, with the World Bank playing a pivotal role in facilitating dialogue. Eugene Black, then president of the World Bank, acted as a crucial mediator, helping to bridge the gap between the two nations. Deep political mistrust often overshadowed the technical aspects of water sharing, making the negotiations particularly challenging. Finally, on the 19th of September 1960, the Indus Water Treaty was signed in Karachi by India's Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Pakistan's President Muhammad Ayub Khan, marking a historic moment. The signing was met with a sense of relief and cautious optimism as both nations hoped for a more stable future. The treaty aimed to provide a clear and unambiguous allocation of river waters to prevent conflict and ensure equitable distribution. The IWT is widely regarded as a landmark achievement in international water law, setting a precedent for future water sharing agreements. It demonstrated that even countries with deeply strained relations could manage shared natural resources through cooperation and dialogue. The initial years following its signing saw a period of relative calm concerning Indus water issues, with both nations adhering to the treaty's provisions. This suggested the treaty was, at least for a time, fulfilling its intended purpose effectively, fostering a spirit of cooperation and mutual benefit. The Indus River system comprises 6 main rivers: the Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Sutlej. These rivers are the lifeblood of the region, supporting millions of people. The first 3 are known as the Western Rivers and the remaining 3 as the Eastern Rivers. This classification is crucial for water management. The treaty bifurcated the river system for administrative and usage purposes, ensuring equitable distribution. The waters of the 3 eastern rivers were allocated exclusively to India. This allowed India to develop significant irrigation and hydropower projects in its northern states, boosting its agricultural output. Conversely, the waters of the 3 western rivers were allocated to Pakistan. India is obligated to let these waters flow unimpeded to Pakistan, but has limited rights for domestic use, navigation and hydroelectric power. This division resulted in Pakistan receiving the significantly larger share of the total water available in the Indus Basin. Pakistan was allocated approximately 80.52% of the waters, while India received about 19.48%. This allocation was based on historical usage patterns. This allocation acknowledged Pakistan's overwhelming historical dependence on the Indus system for its agriculture. The treaty aimed to protect these existing uses and ensure the continued viability of Pakistan's agrarian economy. The vast plains of Pakistani Punjab and Sindh had been irrigated by these rivers for centuries, creating a rich agricultural tradition. For Pakistan, the Indus Water Treaty is a lifeline supporting the largest contiguous irrigation system in the world. This system supports millions of farmers and is the backbone of Pakistan's food security. Agriculture contributes a substantial portion to Pakistan's GDP, around 25%, and the Indus waters are critical for this sector. India also derives significant agricultural benefits from the treaty. The exclusive rights to the eastern rivers have enabled extensive irrigation development in its northern states. The treaty underpins considerable agricultural output and rural prosperity on the Indian side as well. Despite 3 major wars and numerous military standoffs, the treaty has largely been honored by both sides. The context in which the Indus Water Treaty was signed in 1960 is vastly different from the realities of the 21st century. Both India and Pakistan have experienced significant population growth, leading to increased agricultural demands. New challenges, such as climate change, were not adequately foreseen by the treaty's original drafters. India formally notified Pakistan in late 2024 of its intention to seek modifications to the treaty. India cited the need to address imbalances, develop more hydropower capacity, and adapt to contemporary challenges. Pakistan's response has been one of staunch opposition, viewing any changes as a threat to its water security. Reports emerged in May 2025 suggesting that India had taken the drastic step of suspending the Indus Water Treaty. The Indus Water Treaty established the Permanent Indus Commission (PIC) for consultation and cooperation. The PC comprises one commissioner for Indus waters appointed by India and one by Pakistan. Its mandate includes promoting the exchange of hydrological data and conducting regular inspections of river works. The treaty outlines a three-tier mechanism for resolving disagreements. Questions are first addressed by the PC, then escalated to a neutral expert, and finally to a court of arbitration if necessary. Despite these mechanisms, several contentious disputes have arisen, particularly concerning India's construction of hydroelectric projects on the western rivers. Pakistan's primary concerns revolve around the design of these projects, alleging they could impact water availability downstream. India maintains that its projects are fully compliant with the treaty's provisions. The Indus Basin is exceptionally vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Rising temperatures affect the glaciers and snowpack in the Himalayas and Karakoram mountains, primary sources for the Indus rivers. Climate change is also causing more erratic monsoon patterns, leading to severe water imbalances. Projections suggest a potential water deficit of up to 50% in the Indus Basin by 2030 if current trends continue. The Indus Waters Treaty lacks specific provisions to address climate change challenges. There have been increasing calls to incorporate climate change considerations into the treaty framework. Experts suggest including provisions for joint research on glacial melt, comprehensive data sharing, and collaborative strategies for building climate resilience. Such measures are essential for the long-term sustainability of this shared water resource. The Indus Waters Treaty is linked with the broader geopolitical landscape of India-Pakistan relations. The unresolved Kashmir dispute casts a long shadow over the treaty's functioning. Water issues can become entangled with sensitive political and territorial conflicts. Following the 2016 Uri terror attack, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a statement that blood and water cannot flow together. This was widely interpreted as a veiled threat to reconsider India's commitments under the IWT. India's developmental projects in Afghanistan also have geopolitical implications concerning regional water sharing. Pakistan has expressed concerns that these projects could reduce the river's flow into its territory. In response, Pakistan has sought to bolster its own water infrastructure, often with assistance from China. The reported suspension of the Indus Waters Treaty by India in May 2025 marks a critical juncture. This alleged action signifies a dramatic escalation from previous calls for modification. The immediate repercussions for Pakistan would be severe, particularly for its agricultural sector. Internationally, a unilateral suspension of the IWT by India would likely draw considerable attention and could have significant legal ramifications. The treaty does not contain provisions for unilateral suspension or termination. Such an action could be challenged by Pakistan in international forums. The most dangerous consequence is the profound regional instability it would unleash. Despite current strains, it is important to acknowledge the historical successes of the Indus Waters Treaty, which has been a cornerstone of regional stability. For more than 64 years, it has largely achieved its primary objective, preventing water from becoming a direct cause of war between India and Pakistan, fostering cooperation. However, the IWT is increasingly ill-equipped to handle the complex challenges of the 21st century, such as climate change and population growth. To remain relevant, the treaty must be modernized and adapted to contemporary realities. Experts suggest incorporating clauses on climate change adaptation, which is crucial for future resilience. Establishing mechanisms for joint watershed management to ensure sustainable use of resources, and committing to comprehensive data sharing, which can enhance transparency and trust. The dispute resolution mechanisms could be streamlined and strengthened to handle conflicts more efficiently. An integrated basin-wide management approach could offer a more holistic and sustainable model for the region. The overarching goal must be to ensure long-term water security, environmental sustainability, and equitable development for the millions in the Indus Basin, securing a better future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.